Who in here is hungry? Well, even if you're not hungry, I'm sure you can imagine that rumbling stomach or that inability to focus or maybe even the sense that you can actually taste the food you crave. Okay, with that sense of hunger, I now want you to imagine that the last meal you ate or are maybe eating is all you get from now until June. Now, we have to suspend reality a little bit since we wouldn't survive, but for the bacteria that we study in my mentor's lab, this is its reality. So the bacteria we study is called Borrelia burgdorferi. It's a spirochete, which is a class of bacteria, and it causes the most common vector-borne disease in the United States, which has more than 300,000 cases reported per year and has no current vaccine. This is Lyme disease. Now, this infection is transmitted by multiple species of tick who carry it in their gut throughout their life cycle, which is what is behind me. However, when these ticks are hatched, these are little brown gold circles on the left-hand side, they're born spirochete-free, and they don't acquire this infection until they take their first blood meal in late summer, feeding off of a small infected mammal host. Now, at this point, both the tick and the bacteria have to survive through the winter until that tick takes a second blood meal in early summer, again from a small mammal. Now they can feed from either an uninfected or an infected small mammal host. And if they feed from an uninfected small mammal host, which is what you see on the right-hand side, then it can transmit the bacteria to that mammal, creating a whole new infected mammal for those late summer ticks to feed on. This is what we call horizontal transmission, and it's how the bacteria can maintain itself in nature. Now, this early summer time point is also when humans can become an accidental blood meal for the tick, and they can acquire the infection and get Lyme disease. And this presents as a bullseye rash on the skin at the site of that tick bite. Now, that adult tick you see at the bottom is not considered important for Borrelia's life cycle because it feeds mostly on deer and larger mammals, and these are very poor hosts for the bacteria. So, we know this bacteria is very mobile throughout its life cycle, but there is one part wherein it simply has to endure. And this is the part we're really interested in and where we left off in talking about how hungry you might be. So how does it survive in the overwintering tick? Where does it get its energy from? So we know that the bacteria can regulate or turn on a certain gene that utilizes a carbon source or a food source that this bacteria doesn't normally like to use called glycerol, but it is produced in the overwintering tick. And my project specifically revolves around a small regulatory RNA. This is a novel molecule that can regulate this gene. And I'm currently working on teasing out what part of the process this small RNA is regulating, how it does this, and to what extent it can. And understanding this pathway not only furthers our scientific knowledge, but it can also contribute to controlling this disease in the wild, thereby potentially preventing the spread of Lyme disease to the human population. Thank you.